Hi guys, this is KomodoDave from the ADOS forums. Today I'm going to show you a new exploit, not really a glitch, but sort of taking advantage of some mechanisms in the game. And this is called the longest tether exploit. And it will let you make a tether that's as long as the one that you can see on the screen. So hopefully you can see just how small that car is in comparison to the helicopter, and just how long the tether is. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm just going to load a save game because it's in the location that I want to be. Now you can do this glitch anywhere in the map. The only reason I'm going to spawn in this one particular location is because it's very easy to measure a specific distance there. So I'll show you exactly where I am. It's actually the same location as in my suicide bomber glitch video. So it's in the lower quartile, lower left quartile of the map. And if we just zoom into the desert continent, it's this faction stronghold here called Kem Gunung Gurun Supply Depot. So it's just here where I'm going to show you this, but as I say, you can do it anywhere. And I'm just doing it here because we can sort of easily measure a certain distance. So if you want to try this first yourself then and follow this video, then I'm just going to show you exactly where I'm going to spawn things. So I'm going to spawn a Havoc helicopter just here between these two Martin 3 Storms, if that's what they're called. So vehicles, Havoc, and we'll spawn that in. Now just let me apologise for the lack of audio and video sync in my videos. It does my head in, but unfortunately it's a sort of problem in Windows 7 and I haven't been able to get around it, so I'm sure that you're not watching and listening to this in synchrony, but apologies for that, there's not much I can do. So I've spawned the Havoc just there. I'm now going to zip over to the other end of this road inside the depot, and I'm going to spawn an icebreaker just behind this sort of entranceway here. So I'm just going to spawn the icebreaker on the left side here, and now I'm going to show you how to do the exploit. So typically when people tether two things together in Just Cause 2, what they'll do is they'll stand very close to one of the objects that they want to tether, so say this truck, and then if they want to create a long tether, then they'll sort of, look at some objects in the distance and then let the other end fire off towards that. So I mean, typically people think that sort of this is the longest length that a tether can be, so between the Havoc and the lorry, that's pretty much the longest you can get. Now in fact that's not the case, because the game code judges the distance that the grapple can travel from Rico's position, always. So what this means is I can sort of edge away from this Havoc, so I just want to be just on the edge of where the bouncing square reticule appears, so I know that I can grapple it. So this is sort of as far as I can be and still grapple it. And in fact, where we positioned the icebreaker is sort of pretty much as far as you can be from that as well and still grapple it. In fact, I can probably move it a bit further back, so I'll do that just so we sort of maximise the length of this. Okay, so I'm just going to get out and zip over here again. Okay, so again, sort of I'm going to get as far as I can pretty much from the Havoc chopper. So that's as far as I can be, and we're sort of pretty much as far as we can be from the icebreaker now, so this will do. So in fact, if you do this, if you have two objects which both are just at the edge of the sort of grappling distance boundary, then you can still tether them both together, because each sort of end of the grapple that fires will independently calculate the distance from Rico. So I've just fired and hooked onto the Havoc, and that's fine, that's just within distance. And then I turn round to look at the icebreaker, and this one is also fine because it's just within distance. So let me actually tether these two things together now. So in fact I'm going to just move around very slowly, because Rico can only sort of turn himself a certain number of times before you lose the first end of the tether. So I'm just going to very slowly edge onto this icebreaker and then let go, and you'll see we've now made this tether which is pretty much twice as long as the longest that people think it can be. So I'm just going to fly it with a helicopter now, again, and you can see once more just how long this tether is. Now, there's something really interesting that I had happen early with this, and so far since I've sort of reattempted this, it hasn't happened again, unfortunately, but I would love to reproduce it. What happened was, I was flying the helicopter with this longest tether attached to an icebreaker. The tether then began to shrink to its normal length, but as it did so, the icebreaker lost gravity. There was no gravitational effect on it, and it was just sort of floating in midair, which was very, very cool. So I'm hoping that if we play around with this, at least one of us will notice how that happened. Possibly it's just sort of a random effect, I don't know. Yeah, hopefully we can sort of figure that out, because it did look very cool. So you can see just how long this tether is. I mean, that car is miles away. Now what we can do with this, I'm not sure. I've literally only just developed this morning, so I'm going to now play around with some cars and try tethering them together, and boats as well, and just see what happens. Anyway, this has been KomodoDave. This is the longest tether. Have fun!